Hello, everyone, to episode 2 of our English language programming. You're tuning in today with me, Alexis Blanco. I'm partner here at Beltran Brito. Gil and Stephanie are a little complicated today. Either way, I was joining in. They've left me alone for now, but I'm happy to be here with you guys. Talk to you today about immigration news, some informative issues, and of course, address your Q&A. So what's up to everyone? And let's get started. I mean, I know it's episode 2. Some of this news is flowing, right? Every week, almost every day, there's something new, an adjustment here in the world of immigration here in the United States. And I mean, honestly, all over the world. One thing that I think is huge, and we might have touched upon it last week, but just in case, it's the employment authorization documents. I got to share this with you guys. They are going to rescind or have rescinded the automatic renewal of employment authorization documents. These are your temporary work permits. So let's say your permit's about to expire, you file for renewal. You used to get an automatic extension. It used to be 6 months, it became a year, and next thing you knew, it was almost 2 years. Unfortunately, that's being taken away. One of the few people who will remain with that automatic extension are those who are on TPS, temporary protected status. It's disruptive. Fortunately, most work permits are renewed within 3 to 6 months. So definitely be on top of your work permit expiration date because you will want to renew it as soon as you can. Day one of that window and then move right along. But listen, those things may change again, but I'd rather you be prepared. Now, I've got some even bigger breaking news. You're not going to believe it. Somebody just walked in. Who's that?
Hello,
there we
English
go.
show.
There we go.
Stephanie is very late because we had a very complex consultation going on. But here we are.
I think you just run on Miami time. Let's just be honest with
That
the
is
people.
true. Welcome to Miami, where we run on Miami time. Wow, I didn't even get a chance to do my makeup. Look at me, I look pretty good.
You know what? We don't need a filter for you today. You look fabulous.
Did you guys already put a filter on? Thank God.
No.
Alrighty. The English show. Did you intro us? Update me. Put me up to date.
Listen, we got intros, some news. I knew about the EADs. I know it happened on Thursday. I don't know if it was on the show last week.
Yes.
I know we did Spanish language, but
Yes.
English, I don't know if that was on the show.
We did not discuss it on the show in English.
So I was kind of discussing that, kind of just recap that. On the English programming, I know you spoke about H-1Bs.
We did. Okay,
Right.
so the really good benefit, did you already talk about this?
No?
Okay, so
Go for
let's
it.
talk H-1B, which is really nice, which is, I'm sure you guys are all aware about the $100,000 provision for the H-1B visas, right? So essentially, anyone who's applying for a new H-1B visa, not extensions, would need to pay a $100,000 fee per person per petition, right? And everyone was horrified by this information, so there's a lot of lawsuits going on, and we're expecting them to eliminate this shortly. But in the meantime, they have done one clarification that I think is going to be incredibly useful for everyone, which is if you are changing status in the United States, for example, from tourist or from student, then you do not have to pay the $100,000 fee. Huge bite-sized nugget of positive information with the H-1B. So they're not going to apply the $100,000 fee if you're currently in the United States. They're only going to apply it via the consulate. Honestly, I think they're eventually going to eliminate it fully, if I'm honest with you.
I mean, TPS, they're ending TPS, so it's going to just disappear.
What do you mean? I'm talking about like the H-1B.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
He wasn't paying attention to me. See, he wasn't paying attention to me. He wasn't paying attention to me.
I'm paying attention.
He never pays attention to me.
No, but I agree. It's a big benefit for the H-1B.
I just think they're going to eventually eliminate the $100,000 because it's just not realistic. Yeah. But at least in the meantime, if you're applying for a change of status, it is really useful. It also kind of makes sense because they're giving benefits to, in theory, students, right?
Sure.
They're trying to like make it better for students because the students have the cap gap option and all those options. So I think they're trying to like make H-1B a little more limited to people who study in the US.
I mean, also, a lot of the people that do a change of status might already be employed in some capacity.
Right.
OPT students, maybe they had an E2 and an L1. Then, I mean, I know we're trying to really support American workers. Great, I'm for it. I love it. But the H-1B program does help with the competition to a certain degree. And sometimes there are people that have very technical knowledge and they're coming over on that H-1B program. They're already here. So I think that's why you almost have this dual system. Well, I mean, TBD, right? It might work one year, not the next. Things move fast with this administration.
Things are moving fast with this administration. And here we are. But did you also tell the people about like what this show is? I know it's our second episode, but like let's remind them.
What are we? I mean, immigration.
Everyone must be so confused with like our background and stuff. That's why I say it.
I'm not confused.
I mean, obviously, no.
I
but
love
like for
flamingos.
instance, that's true. You do have a great flamingo shirt. You haven't worn it in a while.
Yeah, I gotta wear it soon.
Yeah. You haven't ironed it, I'm sure. So we have, hi tropis. The reason that Angeli is telling us hi tropis is because on our Spanish show, we're known as the tropical attorneys because we're from Miami. That explains the background. Our leader-in-chief, Gil, is the most tropical attorney on the planet. And so that's why this is our sort of vibe, and we are your Miami immigration attorneys. But here we are every Tuesday, live 4 p.m. Eastern, answering live questions about immigration for free. So feel free to share this resource with your friends.
Now, even though we're in Miami, we help everyone.
Excellent point.
All across the U.S., all around the world. I mean, maybe a third of our clients are in Miami, but that's about it.
You
Third.
think? I would say like a tenth.
A tenth, right?
Yeah.
Not even.
I think that was like.
I'm like all of South Florida.
Yeah,
but even then, the majority of people are abroad.
Yeah.
And even those in the U.S., they're just scattered from West Coast to East Coast, everywhere in between. It's really fun. We have this nice reception area. We hardly see people anymore because everything's so technical. We just connect. People are just everywhere.
And it's just the nice thing about immigration is that since it's federal, we really don't ever have to meet them in person, which I'm not saying is a nice thing. I'm saying it's crazy that we're able to help so many people, and I've never met these people in person.
Fly to Miami, go on vacation, come see us.
I mean, I guess, yeah, but they don't have to. I think the benefit is they don't have to come see us.
But they want to. They want to.
They do.
They do. You gotta come.
They do.
Now we've got something, maybe about 5 minutes. We just couple hot topics that we could review and share with you guys. And I think it'll kind of get the conversation going, and then we can go to the Q&A.
Let's do it.
So, it's talking about the Visa Bulletin. It's very important because a lot of what we do is in the realm of employment-based immigration. Of course, family-based, everyone does that, honestly. And the Visa Bulletin matters so much when it comes to that type of immigration. And so we're just maybe quick rundown on what the Visa Bulletin is, how it affects you, what it means when you're abroad or in the United States. That changes as well. And, I guess these are a few bullet points of final action, dates of filing, what that means, priority dates. All that has to go with the Visa Bulletin. Maybe you want to start there? Do you want to start out? Well,
Priority date 101?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Let's do it. What is a priority date? What does it mean?
Alrighty. So no one prepared me for this. I need my team to know. No one prepared me that this was going to be the topic. And to be fair, I was just incredibly late.
I have a 10-minute head start. I'm not going to lie. 10-minute head start.
Okay. So here's the situation. I got to be delicate and I say this. I didn't prepare for this. Immigration has a bit of I'm not going to call it a racist policy, but a bit of a specific policy in that we only permit, you were wondering where I was going with this.
Yeah,
You're like,
what?
Oh no.
What?
You're like, okay. We only permit of the annual cap of, let's say, EB1 permanent residencies or EB2 permanent residencies. We only permit 7% of those to come from each country. So inevitably, what happens? Countries with larger populations like China and India are only going to be able to get 7% of the spots, whereas a country that's tiny like Iceland is also only going to be able to get 7% of the spots. Right. So inevitably, there becomes a far longer wait for countries with high incidences of immigration to the U.S. and higher populations. You didn't know where I was going with that, but you see, it came out.
I was
you
waiting.
Were concerned.
I was waiting to hear this.
So that's the situation. So if I remember correctly, what is it, like 140,000? 140,000 is the number of, I'm gonna check myself on that. Yes. So annual employment-based immigration is 140,000. We give 140,000 EB permanent residencies. And then that is split up into 7% of that 140,000 goes per country.
Right.
And so when you're looking at the Visa Bulletin is basically telling you where we are in line. I call it your place in line. Because, and now you could jump in if you want here, like the beginning of the fiscal year and all that stuff.
Yeah. So the chart matters because you have the countries, right?
Correct.
So those are your good, let's say we're going to call them your columns.
Mhm.
And then going horizontally, you have the different visa classifications, EB1 through 5, right? And so they give first preference, second preference, third preference, and you wind your way down. The priority date's granted on the filing date of, well, it depends on petition. On many petitions, it's the I-140 filing date. And you'll see that's the date that the case is receipted, happens to also be your priority date. For certain visas, like a labor certification process, it's all tied to the labor certification. When you file your I-140, you'll see receive date, might be today, but your priority date is actually 6 months ago. And that's fine, that's normal. But the priority date determines when you can start the final step of the process, which is request the green card, whether it's adjustment of status in the United States or through consular processing, the filing of DS-260. So that priority date matters, and it changes based on the columns, the country that you're from. Usually it's going to be China, Mexico, Philippines, and India, and then everybody else. And you'll see that fluctuate each month. Sometimes it remains stagnant, sometimes it gets better, sometimes it gets worse. To Stephanie's point, when there's a new fiscal year, the idea is we're starting at 0 visas issued.
We're dropping those 140,000 spots again.
Exactly.
Right.
It opens up, and right there on that moment is where you'll see a jump, usually in everyone's favor. And the same is true for family-based visas.
Family base is, I think, 225,000, something like that.
Yeah, 2 something. I always forget the number.
Mhm.
But it's a high number.
Mhm.
And it's first preference, second preference, third. There's something called immediate relatives.
Right.
Don't worry about this.
You're good.
So married to a USC,
US citizen.
United States citizen, the parent of a United States citizen, or the underage of 21, unmarried child of a United States citizen, your immediate relative.
You're
so
good.
there are exceptions.
No place in line.
Yeah. You know what? You could come
Jump the
back
line.
in 2 minutes. Don't even listen to us. It doesn't matter.
Bingo.
But for the majority of people, this does matter. So priority date 101, just know it's just a way to keep people in line.
Your priority date,
organized.
if we could summarize into 2, if there's 2 typically ways to get into this. I-130 is for family-based. I-140 is for employment-based. And your priority date is typically the date you file those forms, except for labor certification, which is you're filing with the Department of Labor.
Exactly.
It's everything that you said.
And just be mindful of retrogression. It happens sometimes.
And then people are like, how do you guys not know if they filed, like, I don't know, 10,000 I-140s? How do you not know that there's 10,000 visas available? Here's the problem. The spots are consumed also by family members. So if you are behind, because that immigration doesn't really have a way to know in advance.
No way.
So if you're in line, but the guy in front of you in line has 6 kids, he ate 6 spots. And if you are one person, you're only taking 1 spot.
Exactly.
Right. So that's what inevitably that's why it becomes so, I don't want to say the word volatile, but that's why it becomes so like speculative.
It's
am I going to get into the next month? Am I not? It depends how many kids the families before you have.
Plus, remember, there's an order. So if the first and second and third preference have high approvals, a lot of people applying, fourth and fifth preference will suffer. Fewer visas will trickle down.
Right.
Because they are allocated by preference, a specific number. But then if they are not used, they kind of trickle down. So maybe a lot of people didn't apply for an EB1 this year. So EB2 category has a benefit.
Right.
Whatever EB1 didn't use, EB2 get, and it kind of continues to trickle down.
Correct.
It's a little bit unpredictable each year. Hey, it's a part of life. That's why creating a strategy is so important. The non-immigrant visa strategy is very important. Like, what else do you qualify for to get you here sooner? This is long-term plan, green card.
Love that. Yep.
What is the short-term plan, the midterm plan? It's so important, and that's what we love to do. Let's create a strategy together to get you here as soon as possible or when you're ready. And never, ever be unlawful in the United States.
I know we were only supposed to do 5 minutes, and I'm
5
sorry,
minutes?
team,
Oh, man.
but there's more important information. I'm just going to drop one on chargeability.
Do it.
Chargeability is going to be, what is your country for priority date purposes? It is your country of birth.
Yeah.
It does not matter your country of citizenship. You could
No.
have 3 citizenships. It is your country of birth. So if you were born in India, but you were a British national or British citizen, you are still Indian for purposes of the Visa Bulletin. One that I weirdly have been dealing with like twice this week is if you were born in Dubai, but your parents are Indian and Dubai doesn't give you citizenship, because I learned that.
Yep.
And Indian national, so you're only a citizen of India, you're still place of birth is Dubai. So you are good to go. And you could basically apply for this. Cross chargeability is that you can use your spouse's data at place of birth. So that's a really good benefit.
All right.
Just
I mean,
saying.
you got to
Just
know
saying,
this.
Select your spouses wisely.
Many
Yes.
reasons to do so. This is
Many
just one
reasons.
more.
One more talk.
And I think just to wrap it up, a lot of people notice that there are 2 charts, both
Yes.
for
Oh,
employment
good point.
versus family, and it's dates of filing and final action. Think of it like this. Dates of filing for consular purposes. Dates of filing is when you can initiate the process.
Right.
Final action is when the visa can be issued.
Correct.
When you're doing an adjustment of status in the United States, USCIS will choose which of the 2 charts they want to use for when you can initiate the process. So sometimes it's dates of filing, sometimes it's final action.
Right.
Either way, they shouldn't approve it until your final action date is there, right? And so the priority date matters. So important to do this. I mean, we'll do a whole nother 30-minute episode about this down the road, but it's just a tidbit. It's to get you guys thinking. This is episode 2. I want you guys to know something about what we do, what we offer, what we know. Questions for next week.
Gill on the screen. What's this guy doing here?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the tropical. That's Mr.
There I
Tropical.
am.
Hey, there we go.
I did my hair that day. As you can see that I did not do today.
It's all right. It looks great.
Thanks.
Time for the Q&A.
Time for the Q&A.
That's a wrap. All right, we made it.
Alrighty. So, as you know, feel free to ask your questions, and we answer all questions here, except for Black Snow, because he says it's the best show, but he's Team Gill. So I don't know.
Team
Black
Gill.
Snow.
All right, I won't hate. Wait till the episode's over. They're
I
gonna be
am
Team
a
Us
hater. Team stuff.
and Alexis.
You do have a big fan club. Okay, I'm going to go with our first question, which is from Juan Carlos Guzman. I am in the process for an EB3 visa, so perm labor certification, party date June 2022, and currently have F1 student status. Can I purchase health insurance, for example, Amber, without this affecting my EB3 visa application? Yeah, absolutely. So you can purchase health insurance. You can purchase it through the marketplace. You can purchase it individually. It's not an issue. What's important is that you cannot be working illegally. That could be a big issue for your EB3. But purchasing things like, I don't know, a home or opening a business or doing health insurance, that's perfectly fine. You cannot work. That is the key.
All right. Good advice, counselor. Good advice.
Thanks.
Here we go. We have a question from Elias. EB2NIW, am I required to submit ETA 9880 form, Appendix A, final determination? Yes, all of that needs to be included. It's part of it. There are sections of the ETA 9889 that are left blank. It will look absurd. The reason this form is included for an EB2NIW is because of a small detail in the regulations. They seem to have missed it. The majority of the EB2 category, actually all of the sub-visas in the EB2 category, require Department of Labor process, except NIW. Therefore, you're filling out this Department of Labor form that's basically irrelevant, but you got to include it. Luckily, since you're not filing with the Department of Labor, Elias, the shutdown does not affect it. Okay, so Department of Labor has been closed due to the government shutdown. USCIS is not, because it's self-sufficient, paid. It runs off of all the fees that it charges you guys, and they accept the form. You're filing that ETA with Appendix A and final determination directly with your I-140 at USCIS. What about the expiration date of the form? Does that affect? No, it shouldn't. I mean, sometimes you'll see forms with an expired date. Don't worry about it. What matters is that it's the most recent addition, and that is all. This happens with USCIS as well. You'll see Form G28. Seems like it expired, I think, 2018, something bizarre, quite a few years ago. It's the latest version. Don't worry about it, friends. Elias, you're good. If you're not working with us, come work with us, man. We can help you out. We love EB2NAWs.
We do. Some of us more than others.
I agree.
Actually, I do want to drop a little piece of nugget in here, which is nugget of information, which is somewhat related. So exactly what Alexis was saying, Department of Labor was closed for the government shutdown, but phenomenal news on October 31st, so a couple days ago, they announced that they would reopen only for immigration cases. So they're doing, yeah.
No wonder I was able to file.
That's why
we
you got
filed one on Monday, and won't say her name, but one of our awesome employees, she came in and she's like, oh my God, the flag system's up. I can file. I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a fluke. Okay.
I thought it was a fluke too. So I looked it up.
Go.
They made an official announcement on the Department of Labor website. And they essentially said, even though the government is shut down, we know that these things are time sensitive because they do have a date, right? Prevailing wages expire, perms expire, all these things expire. So because of that, they reopened Department of Labor only for immigration type cases. So perm type cases, prevailing wage, and perms. And H2, and LCAs.
And LCAs.
So yeah, really good news there. We were a little concerned, but we're good now.
We are good. You want to take the next one?
Sure. Let's go. Hector Dominguez, Venezuelan with I-140 approved for EB2NIW. Priority date, September 25th, 2023. I am in the U.S. as a tourist with my family. Only I was granted 50 days of stay. Yeah, that's happening. Consular appointment for December 2025. What options do I have? Your consular appointment is already slated for December 2025? Oh, but he's probably only Venezuelan. That's probably why he's asking. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So Hector, if you are only Venezuelan, you do not have dual nationality. Yes, I need you to file the adjustment of status. So sorry. If in fact you do have dual nationality and everyone in your family has dual nationality, I would go back to do the consular process because it's in December. Amazing. I would do that. But if you cannot, because no one has dual nationality, then what I would do is you have one of two options. Okay. And I think Alexis is going to agree with me, but this is what I would do. Either on day 90, you file that adjustment of status, 245K. Remember, 245K is a special provision that permits individuals up to 180 days without lawful presence. So I would still wait for day 90 to file, but you're going to keep two things in mind. One, you are filing after the fact and it's 245K. But two, you want to make sure that the Visa Bulletin is still good. So you're going to have to look at the Visa Bulletin for, in your case, probably December, and check that before you end up staying illegal, right? The other option that other people have been doing is they leave and re-enter. A lot of my Venezuelan clients have done that, where they basically leave and they leave within the time that they were allowed. And then when immigration says, oh, wow, the last time that you came in, you abided by what you said and you left. Now that you came back, I'm going to grant you the benefit of the doubt that you're going to continue doing things correctly. And I'm going to give you the full 6 months. I've had clients do that as well. So what do you say?
I agree.
Yeah.
Do it.
I knew it.
There's no other choice. I mean, you can't go back to consular. I'd say 245K is okay. Yep. And it's on the books. That's the law. That's not going to change. That's not a policy. It's there. You're protected.
Yeah, you're fully protected with 245K.
Do it. Absolutely. Good. That's a good one. Here we're going to go with Carolina O'Brien. Hi, Carolina. I'm petitioning my mother. No status. She receives Indiana Medicaid, and I-864 says I might have to repay those benefits. Is this correct? What are my options? So, Carolina, that's a really good point. Technically, yes, you're on the hook for any Medicaid benefits should the institution or the entity come knocking on your door requesting repayment. Now, that's usually at the federal level. Here you're discussing Indiana Medicaid. So you might want to see, and I'd say speak with a specialist in the insurance industry, health insurance industry, to really understand what that process looks like. At the federal level, yes, it can be called back, and you would be liable if Medicaid and Social Security offices were to ask for some sort of repayment. But when it comes to the states, it's a little different. The states have their own regulations that are different to those at the federal level. Technically, at the federal level, she would not qualify for Medicaid because she has no status. So the fact that she does at Indiana is something different. You should see and consult with someone who knows the rules of the state. So it might be that you are okay and not on the hook when you fill out the I-864 for benefits received by Indiana Medicaid, if I'm reading that correctly. That's a really good question, though.
I think it's also worthy mentioning here that if you guys were paying attention to immigration back in what was his first round? 2016
Between
to 2020.
2016 to 2020.
Yeah, 2016 to 2020.
Yeah.
Trump had implemented the rule of public charge, where basically
Yeah.
it was this whole separate form that really drove us insane. It was
Yeah.
like a 20-page form where we had to talk about issues related to public charge and whether you would be a public charge to the United States. There is rumor that he will be doing that again.
Yeah.
So if that comes into play, we have to review carefully if Medicare, Medicaid would be an issue. It wasn't an issue the last time around.
Right.
So it should be fine, but
yeah, usually the health
it's
benefits
worth mentioning that
are
public
not a
charge might come
concern
back.
for public chargeability,
Correct.
but we don't know until it's published.
Correct.
But here with the I-864, that's a little different.
Right,
but
right.
I mean, I would consult with an attorney who
Oh,
knows
yeah,
just to make
Carolina.
sure. Yeah.
Random. I just wanted
Yeah,
to give you that
yeah.
information regarding public charge.
But yeah, oh man, I hope it doesn't come back.
Oh, it was so bad.
Call that thought back. Oh, no. Hide that.
Sorry. Call it back. You're a little too good at that board.
I like it.
All right, let's see. I saw a question around here.
Got a lot of questions today. I'm happy.
I know.
Yeah, this is
Tell
good.
your friends about the English show.
Guys,
Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna cherry pick a question just because it helps our point of the English show.
yeah, do it.
Do you also work with European professionals and investors? Which visa pass do you usually recommend for EU nationals? Yes, we do. So recommend this channel to everybody you know in Europe as well, which is actually why we're doing the show at 4 p.m. Eastern Miami, because we were thinking that we could get Europeans, like, just watching us in bed very creepily right before they go to sleep and hear about immigration news.
I mean, some people are eating dinner at this time in
I
Europe.
know.
I love it. I love it. So I think it's great. Yeah, follow us. We can help you. We can work with you. Je ne sais pas. All right, I don't speak French.
He does speak German, though.
Ambition.
So we do help individuals from all countries, which is a really good benefit. Like we said, we basically attend to people all day long through video conferences. And typical pathways for EU nationals. Now, a couple of important points that I would say for EU nationals specifically. Many EU nationals travel to the United States with a program called ESTA, which basically is a visa waiver program. We have an agreement where that they can come to the United States without needing an actual visa. What does that mean for them? They cannot apply for changing their status to a visa or adjusting their status to a permanent residency in the United States in the majority of circumstances, because ESTA is not a status that can change. So what does that mean for the majority of EU nationals? That they have to do these processes via the US consulates in their home countries. Just an extra step, but I think it's very important and very relevant to EU nationals. The other element that's cool for EU nationals is many of them are eligible for the investor visa, in that many other countries are not. So the majority, I would think, of EU countries are eligible for an investor visa, which is an E2 visa, which allows them to invest in the United States and have a business in the United States. And in that case, spouses can also work. So it's a lot of benefits with the E2 visa that is very particular to EU nationals majority. But yeah, otherwise, every other type of visa is typically available for EU nationals, and we do work with them.
Absolutely. Going to another point of why the program might be actually beneficial.
Right.
And what's up, Eladio? ¿Cómo estás? Good guys. Nice. This kind of program, especially for employers that they don't have any ideas about this matter. Basically saying, hey, sometimes our clients don't speak English or have some, English is their second or third or fourth language, but the employer only speaks English.
Right.
So we're sharing all this information in, let's say, Spanish. And then now the employer has a ton of questions and, want to be informative and helpful, but it kind of maybe delays the process a little bit. This program's for them. If they have questions, put them on here, send them our way. We want employers to understand what the process is like. There are different kinds of visas. Sometimes the employers play an indirect role. Sometimes they play a direct role. It really depends. Sometimes the employers are the client and we are working directly with them. And, The foreign national is just secondary. We work with lots of companies, non-for-profit agencies as well, sports teams. The immigration can be beneficial for many people and many institutions and entities and companies. So redirect them our way. We would love to communicate with them, talk to them, and we're here. We're here.
All righty, let's go with.
Thanks for following us, Eladio.
Nice.
Oh wait, I am not using.
You're not.
I haven't
you've
done
been
the
off,
program
if I'm honest.
enough. Listen,
and you're not paying attention to the chat where I specifically told you.
No,
in the chat,
I read it.
Look at the right camera.
Look at the right. This is the thing. We used to just have the one camera, and I've been working on getting the show prepared.
There you go. You did it.
But not getting on the show. And so now that I'm getting on the show, I'm going to work on this. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Before the year's over. Look at that. Look at that. Before the year's over.
I'm just saying I'm a star and I know which camera to look at. And they tried to take me off the show today. Gil and Alexis were like, we're going to do this show together. I was like, absolutely not. Alrighty, let's see. South Locomotion. Hello, attorneys. I have a question. Does receiving an RFE for an EB1 case significantly reduce the chances of approval, or are RFEs more common nowadays? Alrighty, let's address the elephant in the room. If we ask Gil, he is seeing percentage-wise a higher incidence of RFEs on EB1 cases premium. If you ask me, my percentages are not seeing that. I'm not seeing more RFEs on premium cases than non-premium cases. I'm kind of seeing them at roughly the same average. So I don't want to say that's what sometimes it's crazy, because you go to different attorneys and different attorneys have different experience. Yes, we all work in the same firm, obviously, but like just my clients are just not having that experience. It's sometimes a bit of a luck of the draw.
I agree.
Let's be honest.
I agree. And it depends on the visa category completely.
Right. In this case, we're talking EB1, but
exactly.
it depends on a lot of factors. I, for instance, am seeing more RFEs for Venezuelan nationals, if I'm completely honest. I'm seeing more RFEs for certain countries. I will be completely honest in that sector. But I'm not seeing just like this increased dramatic incidence of RFEs overall with premium process. I'm just not seeing it.
When it comes to EB1A, I agree with you. I don't see a difference between premium processing and regular processing. For EB1A, I'd say it's even. You know, if there's an official government figure, but let's say it's 85% of the cases are getting approved, that's across the board, regular and premium, basically. I don't see that nuanced difference. South locomotion. If you tell me EB2 and IW, I'm going to say I see a little bit more with the premium process.
100%.
So it really depends, guys, but I'd say for you, if you have that petition pending and you want to upgrade to premium, go for it. I'm not concerned with it. Do it. If you haven't filed yet, contact us. Where's the contact us page? Where can we link that?
They also will drop it on the top. He also sort of asks, like, does RFE necessarily lead to a denial? I don't see it that way.
Nah.
I see it as a second opportunity to be able to like fight your case with immigration. And I don't think the percentages, even Gil would agree with that one, the percentages don't line up on that.
I think it's the same.
Like, right, denials will be across the board, whether it be premium or non-premium.
Likelihood of RFEs probably the same, and likelihood of an approval probably about the same. I'd say so. Hey guys, can there be a 5% difference? Yes, but I doubt it. I don't see it. Okay, that was South. Let's go here. Okay, Elias, I think you had a follow-up. Pending asylum, and once EB2 NIW approved, what are the options to adjust status? How does the O1 work? Do we apply from abroad or here in the US? So this is always a concern. So you can get the I-140 approved, and that's wonderful. But one of the requirements are that you have status at the time of filing the adjustment of status, that you entered legally with status, and that you've maintained status throughout. Now, this is since your last entry in the United States. Also, there's 245K, gives you 180 days of unlawful status, and you're still okay. But for the most part, if you have a pending asylum, you don't have a status at that moment. Unless you have, let's say, like TPS, which many of those are obviously ending. So I'm going to go with the assumption that you don't have any other status. All you have is pending asylum. That gives you legal presence based on that petition. Fast forward, I-140 petition for the EB-2 NIW under that visa classification is approved. What do you do now? One option, see if the immigration judge will allow you to adjust status in the United States based on that approved I-140. The other option is consular processing. And there's always a risk that you take when you're leaving the United States. You know, what's your immigration history? How long have you been here? Have you always maintained some sort of status or legal presence? And can the officer ask you questions about the asylum application? Sure. And so that's the reality. It's not straightforward. You mentioned considering an O1 visa. An O1 visa, you can't do a change of status either. You're going to have to depart the United States, get the O1, and come back. You're abandoning the asylum application at that point. And I mean, is it worth it? It depends. It depends. How far along are you in the process? I'm going to say probably it makes sense to stick it out, see what the EB-2 NIW does. If you don't get the decision you want, then maybe consider an alternative like an O1. But I understand why people do asylum. They have valid asylum claims. I'm not a proponent of asylum. It truly limits you through avenues that are immigration overall is discretionary. I think we could agree. There's a level of discretionary in the evaluation of discretion in the evaluation these officers are provided. Once you go asylum and you don't have status, well, you just bump that up times 10. So, Elias, speak to the attorney who's working with you on the asylum and see what's the best take for you there. That's fluid.
Did you feel the need to say Elias twice?
I mean,
you didn't have to say it twice.
It's on there twice. Elias times 2, Elias squared.
I think you could have just said Elias. By the way, this is how we are all day long.
We got a critic over here.
This is how we are all day long.
My biggest critic.
You have no idea.
She always gives 2 thumbs up, though.
That is true. Alexis was cleaning his house the other day, and he brought so much stuff to the office. You guys can't even imagine. You guys cannot even imagine.
A lot of people wanted some of that stuff.
Alrighty. Let's go with frecuencia marítima. I have an interview that next week. I-45, married to a U.S. citizen. I had a voluntary return at the border 23 years ago. I had a voluntary return at the border 23 years ago. Is that an admissibility, i.e. when they asked me if I was an inadmissible person in the past?
Mm-hmm.
But from what he's saying, he had a voluntary return via the border, as in he came in unlawfully, and then he voluntarily returned. Left. That's how I'm understanding
and
it, right?
It happens a lot at the Mexican border.
That's what I'm understanding. Yeah. So yeah, ultimately at the end of the day, you just have to answer that question correctly, right? Inadmissibility is when when you present yourself at a U.S. border or a U.S. port of entry, and they ultimately say you cannot come in, you are inadmissible because of some sort of criminal history, some sort of immigration history. At this point in time, he's not. Oh, I-45, yeah. So you are currently in the United States. So someone already made that determination when they gave you a tourist visa or whatever visa you came in on. Someone already made that determination for you. Exactly. Right? So someone already determined whether or not you would be inadmissible to the United States, and they found no, and they gave you a visa. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't answer that question truthfully on the I-45 and indicate that, yes, 23 years ago, I did a voluntary departure because I entered EE.UU, I entered without inspection to the United States, and then I left. Because it was 23 years ago, honestly, it shouldn't be an issue. Yeah,
I'm not concerned. You're married to a United States citizen. You've re-entered legally. Right. Now you wouldn't be able to do this. And listen, even if there was a 3 or 10, if you were subject to a 3 or 10-year bar, I'm sure you would have met that already. So I'm not concerned, especially you got the visa again.
And that's why they gave him the visa. Exactly.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Now, here's a good one. Eric Divison. Sorry. Eric Divison. My EB-2 NIW was submitted through premium processing. It's been 19 business days. How long will it take? Isn't it 45 business? 60. 45. Okay. 45 business days to process, about 60 days. You actually might say a little bit more. So you're just getting started, Eric. You're halfway through. I'm not concerned. I mean, they truly take closer to that 40 to 45 day mark when it comes to premium processing. And it is what it is. Good luck, Eric.
Our media team is like, I missed Alexis's garage sale. All the items were free.
There was no sale.
All right. I'm going to go with Alan Serdam. What happened with the lottery waiver? Great question, Alan. So with the diversity visa lottery is basically a program that once a year you can apply. And if you are from a country that's able to apply, right? So there's a certain list of countries that are able to apply that have what's known as historical low rates of immigration to the United States. So countries like, in this example, Venezuela, that has high rates of immigration, they're not eligible for a diversity visa. But countries like, and I don't know why I keep going back to Iceland, who doesn't have high rates of immigration to the US, they are eligible for the diversity visa lottery. So first check if your country is eligible to apply for the diversity visa lottery. And if you are born in that country, remember, born in that country, then you can apply for the lottery. And basically, it's literally a lottery for permanent residency. Now, here is the situation with this year. Typically, that diversity visa lottery opens in October. And everyone has been like, including us, we're like, well, where is it? So the Trump administration implemented a $1 fee per person per application. Before, entering the diversity visa lottery was completely free. Now, since they implemented this $1 per person per application fee, they're taking so long to implement the program in order to collect the $1 that they're super delayed in opening the diversity visa lottery. I found that by searching the Reddit rabbit hole of the Department of State consular officers basically communicate amongst themselves, and they let us know that information. But yeah, so unfortunately, because they're having so much trouble implementing a payment program for the $1 fee, that's why they're taking so long on that diversity visa lottery. But Department of State did say that the lottery will open. They just said it is dramatically delayed. I'm likely expecting December or January for opening.
Can't wait.
Crazy.
Every year.
For $1.
Every year.
Every year is something. Every year is something.
It's something different. Let's take on here Antonio. How fast should I move when my priority date becomes current? I mean, that's a good question, right? So usually about between the 10th and the 15th of the previous month, you'll get the figures for the following month. So now around November 10th, November 15th, I'll know how the Visa Bulletin looks for December. And so you have time. You have at least 45 days to file, right? By the 10th or 15th of December, you'll know what the January Visa Bulletin looks like. So you'll know in advance with about a 15 to 20-day window, do I need to wrap it up that month or do I have January? Listen, filing for adjustment of status is very important. You want to make sure everything is placed correctly in the form. Dot your I's, you cross your T's. If it's family of 4, everyone's got to have their 5 years of where they've lived, 5 years of where they've worked, 5 years of where you've gone to school. It's very important to know the immigration history. Is everything included? You want to avoid that request for evidence. The medical exams, are they done properly? We can't mess up. Even a date of birth, you forget to do that. Applications rejected. It matters to take time. It matters to take time. So move fast, move within reason, move cautiously, but know that you have that window and that comfort to know, okay, I can file within time. Also consider, once you file an adjustment of status, I-45, with that file for the work permit, employment authorization document. So that'll give you temporary employment relief and also for a temporary travel permit. And with that, you can also, go on vacation, do a work trip. Nowadays, be careful. 2 things you need to consider. One is the higher level of scrutiny they're giving those people when they return. And guess what? There is a $1,000 fee now associated with that upon, I want to say it's each travel.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so think about it. I traveled with my family, weekend getaway and flights, hotel, $5,000.
But it's
and now I
not
got to come
for
in.
adjustment of status. Remember we read that.
Well,
yesterday?
with the pending
Correct.
adjustment of status. I'm
Correct,
sorry,
correct,
actually, that is correct.
Correct. Yeah, mind you, it's just because literally we caught that
that's true.
yesterday.
Yesterday, a client finally sent us one of these notices because they reported that they were going to do this last month.
Correct.
And in the notice, the already approved one. So when you have a green card at hand, you're okay, which is something to consider because there's the reentry permit and that's the same form I-131. That doesn't apply. But you're right. The pending I-45, which was the biggest concern, it does not apply in
They
that case.
eliminated it, which is
And so
great
that
news.
that was great. It was unclear. But once you file that I-45, you have legal presence in the United States, you have some security, and you got to remember, hey, there are three things you really need to get an approval. One, do you have the I-140 approved or I-130 if you're doing a family-based petition? So what's the underlying basis? Is it approved? Two, have you had any issues with immigration in the past? If so, what is it? Like the voluntary departure, right? Three, have you ever committed a crime, have a criminal history in the United States or abroad? They're going to know. It happened in the U.S. 75 years ago. Guess what? They're going to know. It happened abroad in a remote country. They're probably going to know. Maybe not.
And that's only going to get worse.
They're going to know.
Sad.
Governments are only going to share more information.
Yeah.
Technology just makes it
can't
easier.
get away with those crimes anymore.
That's
baby.
it. No,
Our time is done.
That's it. That's it. If you were not part of the heist in Paris, right?
Way to do the callback to my costume, my Halloween costume.
Were you part of the heist?
No, I was only dressed that way.
Only dressed that
way.
Okay. If you weren't part of that heist, that's it. That's it. Technology, they're giving you, you're done. If you have those three things, no issues with immigration, no criminal history, approve underlying petition, you're 99.999% there. I don't say 100 because, I've never had an issue other than those three, but just be mindful. So move fast, Antonio, but, move within reason. Get everything done properly before you file.
The English show isn't aware of my magical refilling coffee cup.
I don't know how you did that. How did you do that?
Everyone on the Spanish show is like, why are you always, how is it that this cup is so small, but there's still so much coffee in there?
You asked me to look at camera 2, and in order to do that, you did whatever witchcraft in order to get coffee. Don't know.
I do that on purpose. Alrighty. Eliam, I did speak to him today. Had a great consultation, had a great meeting with Stephanie. Very excited to get it started. Thank you, Eliam. Eliam made me think today. He had a lot of interesting things to say, but it was so nice meeting you, Eliam. You didn't have to cut it off.
What?
All right. Carlos Jimenez Marchan. I recognize this name.
I do.
You guys are awesome. Oh, I do recognize this name. Yes. I wanted to thank you guys. I got my O1 visa with your guys' support. Yes. Awesome, Carlos. Now we just got the EB1 visa approved. Amazing. We submitted the forms for the change of status. So I imagine he meant adjustment of status. I wanted to ask you guys if you guys see any delays on the EAD to arrive. None. What is the time frame that it may take to arrive? This concerning of last week, USCIS said about the EADs. Nah, you're fine. Carlos, the EADs are currently taking, especially based on an EB1 AOS, is currently taking like 4 to 6 weeks. We're getting them super, super fast. And I don't expect any change with that, because the thing is, right now, they don't have TPS people applying for EADs. So there's a lot of time. And then ever since they made EADs an optional fee and an optional additional fee, not everyone applies for it. So honestly, they're really, really moving fast. I don't think you have any reason to be concerned. And then as far as it's not going to affect you, let's be honest, because with EB1, you're going to get your green card so fast that you're going to get your green card before your EAD expires. Your green card is currently taking with an EB1 like 6 months. It's going so fast.
It's impressive.
So fast.
I love it.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm so happy about that.
But if for whatever reason you see that your EAD is expiring and your green card hasn't arrived yet, make sure we apply to renew the EAD with 180 days of anticipation. So you can apply for your EAD renewal up to 180 days before. That way you're never elapsed without time, because they're no longer doing the automatic extension. That's the only thing you have to keep in mind. So write it on a calendar 180 days before it expires. Gotta hit up Beltran Brito, gotta hit them up so we can go ahead and do an EAD extension. But honestly, you're probably not gonna be in that situation, because I think you're gonna get the green card before.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna get.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, I don't have I have to put my prognosticator hat in this room.
You have one?
Please. Of course I have.
I thought just you knew.
I have a prognosticator hat. So prognosticator hat. July 2026 green card.
July 26th of 2026?
No, July 2026. That is too accurate.
Can't get an
exact. If he gets it on July 2026, that would be crazy. Oh wow, look. July 26th. Green card for Carlos.
You look like a smooth criminal there. Yeah.
That was funny, team. I love that. That was great.
That was good. All right. Let's see here. So, RK, you got a couple questions here. What would the impact on EB1, EB2 with the government planning to update these categories? I haven't heard anything regarding EB1 and EB2.
Why would you choose that question?
No. I just have no idea what's going on there. So, RK, the point why I bring this up, a lot of times on social media, there's news. You might have someone in government mention something, but are they part of, is this in a committee session? Is this happening? Has there been a law introduced? Has anyone in the executive branch really established it? Sometimes it's just fake news. That's the truth. I haven't seen anything there. Maybe the discretion involved may change. There hasn't been any case law affecting the interpretation when it comes to like Danisar, Kazarian, which are the ways that EB1 and EB2 visas are classified. So, and that's the court that decides that. So I'm not concerned, RK. I have no idea what you're referencing. It'd be great to share with us so we could learn something. Kind of going on that, do you see more AOS packages being rejected with USCIS only accepting these two payment methods?
Yikes.
I'm assuming he or she's referring to the now the one-page form that you fill out.
Right.
And
Deposits or credit cards.
Yeah, and it's either we'll see. It's brand new. They started.
I mean, no, knock on wood. They haven't rejected our cases.
I mean, no. I mean,
not rejected our cases.
It's been about 10 days.
No, I've been getting receipts. Everything's fine. But yeah, I think it's worth it to discuss there. It's like, okay, so
this is important.
So it changed. Yeah, it's worth mentioning.
For attorneys, it's a little different, right? Because we have certain ethical boundaries that we need to adhere to regarding how we make payments, how we distribute those payments to immigration, how we hold it for clients, and for the client's benefit. Now, as an individual, if you're paying, just know, if you're using a credit card, is a credit card company going to accidentally say rejected because they don't know who's
you
this?
went and just like, you're terrifying them. I just wanted you to tell them that like, hey, they no longer accept check. They only accept credit card and deposit.
No, but my
you're
whole
just
point
scaring everybody.
No, but there are ways to get around it. A lot of people, this is very interesting. People are buying gift cards.
Go down this rabbit
they're
hole
buying gift cards and they're using the gift card.
Stop. Don't
and
freak
guess
people
what?
out.
It's bulletproof.
You're freaking people out.
I love how ingenious people are. They're like, what? Someone's trying to make it harder for me. I know a workaround.
Let's do the simple part. They are no longer accepting checks. They only accept credit card via G1450, G4150, G1450.
Yeah.
And deposits via G1650.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. That's all you got to know.
Learn the workarounds.
You're so annoying.
You still got to use those forms though.
Put the fees all into one. So you can add the fees, right? So if you have an 01, it's 530 plus 300 plus 2805 of premium, but you put the joint number, right? That 3,000 something joint number. So make sure you add you don't have to do one form per fee. I think that's relevant.
I would say
that's what I was asking him to get at, not his conspiracy theories on the non-acceptance of credit.
Not a conspiracy theory. People are geniuses. Also, do it per person.
Correct. I do like to do it per person.
Now, if there's 3 people tied to one application, like if you have 302s on one I-129, it's just one fee. Obviously, that's tied to the application. So be mindful of that. But if you're doing adjustment of status,
I would say
like
one
RK
per form.
Per form.
No, that doesn't equate.
It depends.
Yeah,
it just depends because then you have the premium processing.
Yeah.
It depends. See,
like
it's not
everything
easy.
in our life.
It's wait, that's not the one.
They teach you that in law school.
Depends.
Everything depends.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna go with let's go John Paul and Danny. Really quick question. How long does an EB1 approval take? Currently taking about, I would say 13 to 15 months regular processing, 15 days with premium processing. And then I'm going to go with Denison Cordero, Venezuelan submitting an EB20W. If I'm approved, do you think the travel ban will impact the second phase of getting my visa stamp in my passport? I have Colombian wife and kids. Okay. Denison, you got to become Colombian, buddy. Because if you're only Venezuelan, they will not issue the immigrant visa. And if you are the principal, then obviously they're not going to issue it to your family members, right? Because the principal has to have it issued first. So in this situation, either you become Colombian so you could have the immigrant visa issued, or all of you enter with visas to the United States, whatever visa that may be, and then we could file an adjustment of status. But yeah, the travel ban is currently affecting Venezuelans with immigrant visa issuance at U.S. consulates.
There are going to be periodic reviews of that travel ban. But so far, I mean, you're willing to wait 90 days now? I think the first one's supposed to be 6 months in.
For those of you
Or-
that have faith in
Or
this
every 90 days or
administration.
6. Yeah. I'd say while that time is passing, you become a Colombian citizen if you don't
Yeah.
have a visa to get
Yeah.
in. Okay.
Or apply for a visa, right?
Yeah.
So did he say EB-290W? Okay. So EB-290W, maybe we could help you build an O1 case,
Yeah, it's possible.
you know? Well,
Compare
at least
it, apples
you may
to
not
apples.
apply it. You may not be applicable for it now, but we could give you like homework
Yeah.
to build an O1
It just really
case.
depends. You know,
Right.
what's your situation? How soon do you have to be here? You know, maybe Colombian citizenship requires you to live in Colombia for 2 years. I don't know.
Correct.
I'm like, I get you an O1, even if you need homework in a year,
Correct.
if less than that.
Absolutely.
So it just developing a strategy is very important. I think it's a useful tool. And if you have this EB-290W, that I mean, I guess you don't have the decision yet, Dennison. Hopefully it's approved, but truly consider it. By the way, certain visas are dual intent, others are not. So, you know, in O1 is. So you have the benefit. You can have that EB-290W pending and come to the United States still on the O1, even if you don't already have a tourist visa. So there are a lot of options out there. You kind of just need to find clarity and see what's the best strategy for you and your family.
Lizbeth tells us, thanks so much. Elias tells us, I will definitely be contacting you for sure. Right there, Beltran/contact us. And honestly,
Yeah.
the best thing you could do for us is share this program with your friends. We are trying to promote the English channel. Alexis and I will be doing some webinars and seminars specific to specific type of visa categories. We're going to do, I think, another marriage-based interview mock.
We should do
We're
that.
going to be doing a lot of fun stuff on the English
Yeah.
channel. That way we can reach our English-speaking clients. But again, look, I feel like I'm trying to sell myself, but I'm not. It's free immigration advice. Tell your friends to take advantage. We'll be here every Tuesday, Miami time, 4 p.m. and in Spanish every Thursday at noon, Miami time.
Miami time.
Thank you, everyone, for being with us.
Before
did we have?
go,
Oh, Andres would launch me a freaking super chat at 5 p.m.
what is
Come
it?
on, Andres.
Hey, he had 10 seconds left. I love it. Let's see. He has an I-140 pending, priority date April 2024. That's good. Can I get an AOE without
Do you regret taking this question yet?
an AOE? Is that you want to file an AOS without approval? Can I receive a work permit and continue working while I wait for the approval? You can file for an adjustment of status while the I-140 is pending, right? Are we still good for the month of November to file that adjustment of status? I think so.
Yeah,
right?
you are.
So, okay, so we're good there. So yes,
You think he meant, can I file an AOS without approval? Yeah, he probably meant that.
Yeah. So, if you want to file an adjustment of status I-45 while the I-140 is pending, you can. With that I-45, you can file the I-765, which is the temporary work permit, employment authorization document, based on that pending I-45. That's based on the pending I-140. You can do all of those things. Right now you can because the priority date is eligible to commence stage 2 of the process for EB-290W. Or I mean, it could be UN EB-3, whatever it is. And then you could work while everything's pending. Now, let's say you're part of TPS Venezuela. It ends November 7th. Or you have F1 OPT. It ends December 15th. Well, you cannot continue to work once those terms or your current work permit has ended, unless you have the new work permit. So be mindful, there might be a gap. Be prepared to tell your employer, do not work. That unlawful work will go against you, and it may be an issue. So just be mindful of your dates. But good luck, Andres. You have more questions, feel free to contact us. Have a consultation.
Thank you, guys. Until next time.
Is that a wrap? Did we do it?
I was already wrapping it up, and then Andres threw us that 5 p.m. super chat. Thank you so much. We will see you next week.
Good morning, good night, good evening. Enjoy your week. See you later.
You were going to forget our outro.
I wasn't going to forget. All right, let's go.